Hi Beauty Talk, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do a quick lesson on how to do a soft smoky eye. So this smoky eye is different from what I taught in the last class over Zoom. This look is much softer. I think it's somewhat more wearable on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's easier. I think it's easier to do. But you can also further complicate it by adding warm and cool tones, adding different textures, and I'm gonna go into all of that in this video. So thank you guys for joining me again, and definitely like and subscribe and share this tutorial with a friend who maybe is trying to get into makeup. So yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting me during COVID. I'm not doing my Zoom lessons anymore. I'm going to be putting everything on YouTube so you can watch at your own pace. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. Okay, guys, so we're gonna get started. But before we do, I just want to mention my company real quick, Golden Life Tea. You can go to goldenlifetea.com and you can get 20% off all tea as well as teawear with the code Kelly20 or Amy20. And you can also check out our podcast on teaandtalking.com. We have a YouTube for that as well. So real quick, I've been changing my routine from coffee to tea every morning, and it's really good because for me, I usually get jitters when I have too much coffee. I think that for coffee, you gotta have just that right amount before you get jitters. With the tea, I noticed that with the green tea, there's a lot of caffeine as well, so it keeps me feeling refreshed. But at the same time, there's also L-theanine to balance out the caffeine, so you won't get the jitters. So I recommend you guys try it out. I'm drinking the jasmine green tea today, and it's wonderful, especially under the studio lights. It's really wonderful. So yeah, use code Kelly20 or Amy20 to get 20% off. And for all the makeup that I'm using today, we do sell Viseart, Caudalie, Murad, Dermalogica, as well as other brands on hyperrealpro.com. You can use Kelly20 for 20% off all makeup and skincare. All right, let's get started. So with the eyebrows, I always want to make sure that they match the eye look. Now, here's the thing. We usually have one focus when it comes to doing bold looks, either the eyes, lips, or complexion. So I just want to go over that real quick. And when we're doing a bold eye look, a lot of times I notice a couple of mistakes. Notably on Instagram, actually, where girls, guys, whatever, they do their eye looks and the brows are super bold, super intense, gorgeous. The eyes as well, bold, intense, technically perfect. But when you put them together, I don't know, I just don't see it as flattering. I think that what looks more flattering, especially for makeup for a night out, is either doing a bold brow and doing a softer eye look. It could still be a smoky eye, but a softer one, like the one I'm doing today. Or do a really bold, like, eye look and make the brows a little bit more softer. So what I think would help a lot in making the look more flattering is either focusing on the eye look or focusing on the eyebrows. And not having one overpower the other is the key, in my opinion. That's the trick that I use in just about every single editorial look that I do. And I challenge you guys to try that out for yourself. But it's kind of like in fashion. You want to wear the outfit, you don't want the outfit to wear you. Same thing. All right, so with that said, we're gonna do our eyebrows, and I'm going to do this eyebrow bolder. So I'm gonna use my Tarte powder for my eyebrows. I always use gray. Gray is the best for Asian eyes, Asian eyebrows and the Asian complexions. So I'm just gonna fill in my eyebrows. I fill in starting at the tip of the arch, the highest point of the arch, and I blend it downwards, and then I start at the base of the front of the eyebrows. This is the best way to get a really nice arch that points upwards. So I think that's really flattering for the majority of face shapes, and I would enjoy doing this all the time, especially in editorials. This is a really good way to fill in natural brows, and it's really important that you start filling in from one point and then blend it upwards or blend it down and out instead of filling it in from top to bottom as one big block shape. You do not want your eyebrows to be too bold, especially when you have waxed eyebrows. Like when you use wax on your eyebrows, soap on your eyebrows to get that fluffy look, your eyebrows are already so much bigger than they naturally are. So it's your job to make it not too dark so that it overpowers the rest of your face. That was like a really long-winded way for me to say that I think that us girls look kind of bad when our eyebrows are too thick. There's some people that can totally rock it. Like Cara Delevingne. Who else? Kim Kardashian for sure. Oh, Huda Beauty. That was another one. That was a good one. But me? No. Not a chance. Blend it out. So the eyebrows are done, and I'm going to leave my eyebrows like this. I could technically make them darker, especially if I wanted to do a more graphic look. I could make my brows darker, but this is where I like to stop when I'm doing a smoky eye. Regardless of whether it's softer or darker, if I made my smoky eye with a black base, it would be significantly darker, and I would actually make my eyebrows a lot lighter than this. So that's what I'm gonna go with, and we're gonna move on to the next step, which is the smoky eye base. So I like using the Makeup Forever pencils. I also like using Viseart eyeshadows for this type of look. And the reason why I like these pencils is because they blend really well. They're easy to apply, they're easy to smudge, but at the same time, they don't really transfer much. So I'm gonna start off with doing a rough shape. Now, it's really hard for me to explain, but when you do smoky eyes, there's different shapes that you can do. You can make them more round, you can make them more upturned, like almost like a cat wing, and you can make them pull outwards or inwards, depending on how you shape and contour. It's really important for you to pick a shape that's most flattering to your natural features. So for example, if your eyes are close together, maybe you won't want to make your shape come out a little bit further than the outer corner of your eyes. And if you were to do like a cat wing, but also smoky eye, then you can do a wing shape. I'm gonna do something that's more narrow, like a narrow oval. So I'm gonna trace my natural eye shape, and I'm going to make it kind of like a flat oval. When I do this type of look, I always start from the lash line. Oh, this is actually a perfect chance to tight line your eyes, because we're gonna do false lashes, right? We're gonna tight line our eyes, and then we're gonna do our base. Let me do this off camera. Okay, so going into the shape of our smoky eye, I'm going to start from my lash line, and then I'm going to build it upwards. And I'm going to make the color intense towards the base of my lash line. And then, as I drag this shape out, I'm going to lighten my grip slightly on my pencil, so the color is not as intense towards the edge. Now this part's important because we do need to smudge this later on. So because my crease is smaller and closer to my lash line, I don't have a lot of crease space to do much. And I don't want to stop my smoky eye right at my natural crease. I'm going to take it up a little bit higher. So it's going to stop around this area. So I'm just going to pencil in my shape. It's going to come up slightly above my natural crease, which makes sense given the proportion of my eyelids. You always want to go along your proportions of your eyelids. Some people have more lid space, some people have less. Alright guys, thank you for joining me on Beauty Talk. This is the look, and I will see you in the next video. Just kidding. Okay, so this is what it looks like before you blend it out. Oh my god. Can you imagine that back in the day, back when I was in like high school or something, I used to show up just like this. Granted, I used liquid eyeliner instead, so it looked twice as atrocious, but at least the line was clean. No, it was so bad. Anyway, we're going to blend this out so that it's not so garish. Oh boy. Ooh. I promise you, you guys think it looks like shit, but it's gonna get so much better. So I'm blending this out at the edges, okay? I'm gonna use a dense brush. This one's from Makeup Forever. It's a really small, really dense brush, and it's perfect for blending cream products. I usually use a synthetic brush for creams and pencils. And as you're blending the edge of this shape, depending on what kind of base color you're using, I'm using brown, so you can actually kind of go into it a little bit as a contour, a little bit. And then, of course, take a clean brush and blend out everything that you can. I want to soften this look a little bit further, so I'm going to take a clean brush and I'm going to blend this out. Just make sure you're always blending upwards and you're not blending anything downwards, because you always want to be lifting, always. So always start from the base and flick upwards, always. And make sure not to overblend, because when you're overblending something as dark as a smoky eye, that's the quickest way for it to look muddy and ashy. So you do not want that. So at any point, if you want to soften your look, you can always take a clean brush and blend everything out, the entire shape. You can blend it out a little bit further. You can even go as far as taking a clean finger and just kind of absorbing some of that extra product, some of that extra color, so that the color becomes lighter at the end. So after we blend everything out, what we can do is we can take what's remaining on the brush and just gently swipe that along our lower lash line. Because when we do a smoky eye, we need to make sure that we have a shape all around our eye, upper and lower lid areas. And I suggest starting from the outer corner and move towards the inner corner and gently taper it off so that there's no product by the time you reach the inner corner. And then you can choose to add a highlight or just leave it bare. I usually like leaving it bare, actually. So I'm going to use my Viseart Neutral Mattes, and then I'm going to pick a neutral brown shade to gently set this look. And I want to do a thin layer of this. And this part's really interesting because you can add some warmer cool tones to warm up or cool down your neutrals. So you can, like for me, I have different choices. I can either use a warm brown shade to warm up the look entirely, or I can use a navy blue shade like this one or this one to further intensify and add cool tones to the look. So then I end up with a cooler gray instead of a warm gray. So I'm going to go into this color called Slate. I'm going to use a small brush so I have more control when I'm applying this because I don't want it to get everywhere. I just want to deepen the shade at the outer corner and the inner corner area so I have more depth and dimension. I also would like to cool down the look a little bit where it's the darkest, and the reason is it creates a lot more contrast than you think. So when you put cool tones in the deepest area, it actually pushes. It makes, so the warm tones will push forward while the cool tones push backwards. So that's what creates a lot of dimension in something as simple and monochromatic seemingly as a smoky eye. So that's what I really, really enjoy. That's one of my favorite techniques, actually. And this is more or less a painter's technique that you can use in makeup. So I'm going to apply a little bit of this blue shade, and then I'm going to blend it out. And when I blend this color out, I'm going to make sure to blend it using the same color, the same brush that I used to blend the brown shade. So that way the two colors can mix together a little bit, and then the blues will become more brown. And this entire look will become more neutral. Okay, so this is what I have right now. And then I'm going to put a little bit more of the brown shade, and I'm going to combine a light and dark brown so I get a neutral shade that I can use to set the lower lash area. I'm gonna use the edge of my brush to do that. And I'll blend it so the color becomes much softer and less harsh. So this look is more or less done, but I do want to add a little bit of texture. So I'm going to use my Makeup Forever Starlit powder to add a little bit of a glaze. Now this is really bright. So I don't know, maybe there's a better product to do a satin finish. But I do want to make it a little bolder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of product and I'm going to tap some on my brush. Okay. And then I'm going to wipe off 90% of the product on the back of my hand until almost nothing remains. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Starlit powder, a very little tiny amount of it, and I'm going to put it on a flat brush. Okay, and then I'm going to very gently do the tiniest layer at the center of my lid. Okay, that's a lot. And you only want to do a few small motions so that you're not disturbing the color underneath. And you don't want it to look too glittery. So you don't want the product to build, actually. And that's how you do a very small glaze of glitter. So the amount I'm applying, I'm actually doing a little bit more just for the camera. But in person, it looks so beautiful. It looks like it's almost wet in the middle, but it doesn't look glittery. So that's something that I really like to do to add some texture to something that might otherwise be a boring smoky eye look. And now it's up to you whether or not you want to do an inner corner highlight. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It really depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But if you wanted to do something that's more subtle, then you can take what little remains of that Starlit powder and you can use a clean pencil brush, okay? And then add a skin-toned shade from your neutral matte palette and then kind of combine that with the remnants of the Starlit powder. And then you should get something that's somewhat satin-like from a matte shade. And you can pop that right into your inner corner. So it's not completely shimmery, but you do get that subtle sheen from that Starlit powder. Okay. And then something you can do is you can do a waterline using a concealer color. For me today, I'm not going to do it. I want the look to appear more fresh, so I want to do less layers. So after that, we're going to do our mascara, and then we're going to put our lashes on. So for me, what I like to do with this type of look is I really like to use lengthening mascara so that I get long lashes at the top and bottom. Okay, so for today, I'm going to use my super long lashes, and these are actually customs. So I made these using the Ardell L Curl eyelash extension. I think they're called lash extension falsies, and I bought them in the L Curl version. And then I stuck the Swede lashes, the no lash. I stuck the individual lashes onto this strip lash. Okay, so what you can do to add some more length at the lower lash line, especially if you don't have much natural lashes, you can use either falsies, like the really tiny individual ones, and you can stick them along the lower lash line, or you can pen them in using a really small pen liner like this one from Stila. Okay, so after the lashes and our eye look is done, I'm gonna move on to the contour. I'm gonna go over this briefly to tell you guys what contour goes well with this kind of look. So what I like to do is I would go into a somewhat cool tone contour shade, and this one will be a powder. So I'm gonna use a powder brush to gently get a little bit of a cool to neutral tone contour, because this is a cooler tone look. So I don't want to make the contour look too bronze, because then it wouldn't match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the edge of my brush and I'm just going to sketch out the contour shape, and I'm going to blend it upwards. It's gonna be really quick. It should only take a few motions to get the contour that you need. And you just trace it along your natural cheekbone and you blend it upwards. You never want to blend downwards. And if you want to add a second layer to your contour to deepen it, I suggest you start at the deepest part of your cheekbone and just blend it slightly from there, and don't blend it out too much once you're adding a second layer, because you don't want it to look muddy and you don't want it to look ashy. So after that part's done, we're going to do a little bit of blush, and we don't have to do a lot actually, because if we're making a smoky eye look, I typically don't like to add a lot of blush. But if I do, I just go for something that's more neutral, if anything. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to mix it. And this is from the Hourglass palette from, I think, 2018. Probably. And then I'm going to gently trace this blush. I'm going to let it hover right over my contour. So it has that sort of barely there element to it. And I know my skin's not perfect because I'm not wearing any foundation, but I do believe in giving your skin a break, especially during these type of, especially during this type of weather where it's cold one day and then warm the other day. It's really bad for your skin. So I try my best to give it a break if I can. And then I'm gonna take a angled brush and I'm just going to sweep the blush and contour together slightly. I'm just gonna sweep that, always fanning upwards. And that will make my blush and contour, it will blend them together a little bit further, and then it'll sheer them out a little bit. So this is the contour, and I'm just going to end with that. And for the lip, you know what? Fenty Gloss Bomb, shade Fussy. I'm not gonna line my lips. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna do a little bit of gloss. And the reason for that is, I don't think I can talk in gloss. Actually, maybe I can. So I do want it to look somewhat undone. Ooh, this is really pink. Let me blot. Okay. Oh, there you go. So yeah, I do like for this look to be somewhat undone, because if I do something that's really pretty and prim, like a really nice controlled smoky eye with different variations of color and texture, then I would like to leave the lips undone and the contour minimal, because that way your main focus will be on your eyes, and also because there's not so many technical elements like lip liner, contouring of the lips, doing a sharp lip look. Because there's not so many of those technical elements, then it looks cleaner, and it also looks like there's less makeup. So I think that when you have too many things going on, it does tend to look heavy, and it's not as flattering as if you were to just do a few elements perfectly and then leave the rest looking somewhat undone. So I hope you guys like this look, and this is one of my favorite looks. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of today's beauty talk, and leave a comment below for me, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!